Welcome back, Triple F Squad, to another great episode of Two Fools in Fantasy Football. On this episode, we will be discussing your fantasy football MVPs through Week 13, the players who outperformed their ADP, their average draft position, where they were drafted in fantasy this year, and also Tyler's going to have some great matchups going into Week 1 of the playoffs for all of us who made the playoffs this year. So, as always, I am Marty McFly. And this guy right over here is Tyler, the Uncool Fool.
Hey, what's going on, Marty? Good to see you, brother. I'm Tyler, the Uncool Fool, with no doubt. So, thank you for joining us for Week 1 of the Fantasy Football Playoffs. This is truly the most wonderful time of the year. For some of us, we're going to be crying ourselves to sleep after this week. For some of us, we're going to be jumping for joy because we will be moving on, and some of us will be going home. So that's just the way it is. And first and foremost, happy holidays, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great holiday season so far. We're getting closer and closer to the end of this football season and all the craziness that came along with it. And also like, subscribe, share, add us. Facebook, we have one called Tyler Marty on the YouTube channel. Subscribe, let us know how you feel about us, and comments, questions. We're here for you all the time.
That's right. Thank you, Tyler. All right. We're gonna jump into our fantasy football MVPs this year, starting with the quarterbacks. One man who came kind of out of nowhere, thanks to someone getting punctured in the lung by a doctor, Justin Herbert, from your Los Angeles Chargers. Kid came out of nowhere, rookie, phenomenal season in fantasy football. And he's going to be at least a top 15 quarterback next year, maybe top 10, depending on how he finishes this year. And if if LA decides to add him any weapons this offseason. I know. Sorry, no more thank you.
You said a no.
I know. Our other QB is good old number 12, Aaron Rodgers out of Green Bay. Yes, number 1, 2. Everybody kind of thought he was done. He's proven everybody wrong with that, thanks to Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones being his go-to people this year. I think he was drafted averaging maybe the 6th, 7th, 8th round this year. Next year, he'll definitely be a top 10 quarterback taken next year. On to the running backs. We've got an undrafted player from the Jacksonville Jaguars, James Robinson. Dude's been killing it the last 5 weeks. Been killing it. We made fun of him in one of our episodes. We made fun of him. Mr. Robinson, we apologize. We were wrong. That guy did. Right there. Also, out from Washington football team, Mr. Gibson.
Yeah.
Coming back. He's been having a phenomenal year. I drafted him in a few leagues, and I think like the 10th, 11th, 12th round. I was getting him for nothing. So yeah, but he's been a workhorse for them this whole season. So we're looking at him as maybe top 10, top 15, maybe top 10 running back next year, depending on
hype next year.
If Washington goes for another quarterback or trades for any more better players to surround him with a better line.
Yeah.
On to the receivers. No surprise here. It was Mr. 9th round pick, DK Metcalf, for the Seattle Seahawks. I picked him up in a bunch of leagues. I think I drafted him more than any other player that I drafted this year. Kid's a monster. He'll be definitely top 5 receiver pick next year. Definitely. Also, we have, yes, Mr. Greer.
I'm going to say spoiler / predictor. I bet he's the first receiver taken off the board next year in at least 30% of the leagues. And I think I might be lowballing that, honestly, Marty.
Yeah, I think you will. I think you are. I happen to agree with you on that. I think some people are going to jump the gun on him for And this is what happens. Somebody has a monster year. They're like, oh, I got to get him now because he's going to have another monster year. But
So
he's going to be like that. He's the new Megatron, and Megatron was always clutch.
Yep.
His first 5 years of fantasy football, clutch. So
also,
I wouldn't. You couldn't go wrong selecting him first as a number one pick either.
no. Also, too, Marty, there's I don't know who this was, but I was watching a show at the beginning of fantasy football that they said when you're in your third year for your wide receiver, you don't think about the game anymore. You're not thinking about your routes. You know the offense. And the Seattle Seahawks are going to have the same guys, the same quarterback, the same system. So in year 3, he's just going to even play. He's going to play even more. He's not going to be thinking about anything, which is even scarier.
Yeah.
So if you're in a fantasy football league with me next year, I might take him first. I mean, if first for the receivers, I'm like 8th or 9th. I honestly might. Like, why not?
Yeah. You're not going to go right. You're not going to go wrong.
No.
Okay.
The ball.
Next on the list, we got the rookie out of Minnesota, Justin Jefferson.
Yes.
This kid, holy Lord. I mean, if it wasn't for Justin Herbert, I'd look at this kid as rookie of the year. But I think Justin Herbert is going to take that now that Joe Burrows went down.
Yeah.
He's having a great year. Kirk Cousins has found his new guy. It's him and Adam. It's him and Thielen. It's the Jefferson Thielen show.
Yep.
With Kirk Cousins now. So look for him to be a top 15, maybe top 20 pick next year, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna do another. I'm gonna do a lot of spoilers with this because I think why not? So I think next year Minnesota is gonna win their division, and they're gonna get all their pieces on defense next year through the draft.
Okay.
They are set up for success. They got the right guys in the right spots. They just need a couple more pieces, and they're going to be right there with the Packers and the Bears and the Lions. Well, I shouldn't even say the Lions. The Lions are a long ways away, but I'm thinking Minnesota's going to win it all next year, or for the division. Excuse me, win the division next year with all that talent.
Okay. Speaking of the Lions, we're on to tight ends, and Mr. T.J. Hawkinson has been killing it this year. I think he's number 3 or 4 overall in tight ends this year in fantasy football. 4. And yeah, it's been a great year in Detroit. You know, it sucks that you can't just string together some wins or close out some games because all those points are kind of going to waste right now. But
yeah,
he's a great pickup. Definitely a top 5 pick next year, we're thinking. Also, sticking with the NFC North, we're going to go with Green Bay's tight end, Robert Tanyan. This guy came out of absolutely nowhere. I don't think anybody drafted this kid first on draft day. No. I know I didn't. I didn't even know who he was till week 3. Yeah.
Nobody did.
Other than Jones and Adams, it's Rodgers' new favorite target. The kid's huge, the big old boy, and he loves catching those touchdown passes in the red zone. So Robert Tanyan, definitely top 10 tight end pickup for next year. Defenses, we're going to go with the Steelers this year. They kind of they've been good, but they've just been dominating the last few weeks. So, yeah, Steelers for our defense, for MVP for defense this year. And for our kickers, no surprise here. It's the guy who's leading the league in points this year. It's the kicker from Atlanta. Young Hung Koo. Been kicking like crazy. Been kicking the crap out of the ball. I don't remember the last time he missed a kick. Anyway, he's our number 1 MVP kicker this year. Looking for him to be a top 5 pick next year.
Yep.
You'll get people take Tucker and Butker and Koo. He may be top 3 right after Tucker and Butker. Tucker, Butker. Those are rhyming words. Anyway, those are our fantasy football MVPs for this year. And now Mr. Greer, the uncool Greer, is going to give you the best match we got going on for week 1 of the playoffs.
Yeah, thanks, Marty. So we're just going to roll right into the playoffs here. For most of us, this is a very crucial week. For me personally, in our league, we have a 6-team playoff system. I have a bye this week, so I'm going to kick back and relax and just watch everybody else fight it out. So, with that being said, so some of the top guys this week that you want to play, the guys who have some really nice matchups, some guys who are going to get you tons of points, guys who are just going to rack it up for you, guys who you want to play this week. So these guys are going to carry your team through the first week of the playoffs. For the quarterbacks, the great matchups this week, Justin Herbert for the Los Angeles Chargers. They play the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta is ranked 32nd in the league versus the pass now. Seattle has gotten that part of their defense together. So now Atlanta is the new holder of the worst passing defense in the league. So congratulations, Atlanta. You're first in something. So, yeah, congratulations. The next guy we're going to talk about is Russell Wilson for Seattle. They're going to play the New York Jets this week. Russell Wilson has been slumping the last couple of weeks. This is a major get-right game for the whole Seattle offense. It's going to be a get-right game for Russell Wilson, so look for him to have a lot of points. Look for Russ to cook. Look for Russ to be Russ this week.
Point of order. Also, the Jets, for some reason, instead of firing their head coach, they fired their defensive coordinator, Mr. Greg Williams, after last week's game. Couldn't believe when I saw that. I'm like, you're going to fire the defensive coordinator but not fire the head coach? Yes, they gave up that lead, and oh my God, it was horrible how they lost. But good Lord, fire your head coach. Don't fire the defensive coordinator. Tyler, back to you.
The sad part is he was up for the Cleveland Brown head coaching job 2 years ago, and they gave it to him. So they literally just fired their best coach in that whole staff. So go figure. But that's New York football for you. The Jets can't do right. They should go to college football, get one win so they might feel all right. Okay, anyways. So next quarterback on the list is Aaron Rodgers. Wow. I'm just telling you, man, it was good. It wasn't bad. I'm in the Christmas spirit. What can I say? The next quarterback we're going to talk about is Aaron Rodgers. They're facing Detroit. Do I need to say more? Aaron Rodgers, he's going to kill it. He hates Detroit. He's going to just destroy him. So, and Detroit sucks. So it's a good combination. I know Marty's still laughing at my singing skills. I know. Get over it. It's okay. Yes. So the next group we're going to talk about are running backs. We're going to just jump right into it. Derrick Henry has a matchup against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville Jaguars can't stop anybody on the defensive end whatsoever. They can't stop quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, tight ends. They can't stop Marty. They can't stop me, so play him. The next guy we're going to talk about is Jonathan Taylor, Indianapolis. The Colts, he had a great week last week. They are starting to put him more in the offense. They play the Las Vegas Raiders. Las Vegas Raiders are terrible against the run. Start Jonathan Taylor this week. You're welcome. Next guy we're going to talk about, Aaron Jones. Mr. Rodgers' counterpart, Detroit is the worst team against the rush in the NFL, giving up points and allowing rushing yards. Aaron Jones, Green Bay Packers against Detroit, play him. Last but not least, this guy absolutely crushed me last week. I am starting a I Hate David Montgomery fan club. If you want to join, please join. This guy absolutely destroyed me. He hasn't done anything for the whole year. I play him. The guy who I played last week got him in a trade 3 weeks ago. Ever since I got him the trade, he's been destroying it. I hate you, David Montgomery. Next, we're going to talk about the wide receivers. Still mad about that. So the next guy who's got a great matchup is Adam Thielen. They're taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So if you got Adam Thielen this week, go ahead and play him. He's going to get you lots of points. He's been a top receiver for the last 3 weeks. He's gotten 20 points or more. Dude's crushing it. There's no doubt about it. Minnesota's offense is firing all cylinders. Dalvin Cook this week is going to have a tough week. Tampa Bay is one of the top rushing defenses on there. So look for Kirk Cousins to throw for a lot this week. Look for Adam Thielen this week and Double J, Justin Jefferson. So, yeah, look for him. Next guy on the list can be A.J. Brown. Again, we talked about Derrick Henry's teammate. A.J. Brown's taking on Tennessee. They're taking on Jacksonville. Jacksonville sucks. Put him in. Next guy we're going to talk about is Chris Godwin. Minnesota can't guard anybody whatsoever. Chris Godwin has had the most targets from Tom Brady last couple weeks, the last 2 weeks. So look for him to keep that trend up with Tom Brady. They just had a bye week. Chris Godwin just got all of the pins taken out of his fingers, so he'll have more confidence catching the ball. Tom Brady's going to look his way. He'll have a very nice week this week. Last but not least, we're going to talk about Keenan Allen, Keenan Allen for the Los Angeles Chargers playing the Atlanta Falcons. Justin Herbert, we talked about Atlanta being 32nd overall against the pass. Who's going to get all those receptions? Keenan Allen. For all you people who play money, who spend money for football, who like to do links, who like to do the chains, Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, and also this next guy, Hunter Henry. Again, if you're doing the link, do it. Go big, go home. Atlanta's gave up a ton of points to these guys. Justin Herbert got embarrassed last week by New England, so he's going to come out hungry. He's going to throw the ball like crazy, so expect all those guys to eat. Hunter Henry, tight end versus Atlanta, play him as well. Next guy we're going to talk about is the guy who's going to come off the COVID list this week. All signs are green for him, Mark Andrews. Cleveland, they're playing Cleveland this week, so the Baltimore Ravens versus the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland actually has a really nice run defense, so look for Lamar Jackson to pass a little bit more than usual. With that being said, the number one guy this week's going to be Mark Andrews, his top tight end back, top target guy. Andrews this week, safe play. Play him, enjoy the points. Last guy we're going to talk about for the Dallas Cowboys is Darren Schultz. The reason why we're going to talk about him this week is because they're playing the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals aren't a very good team on the defensive side whatsoever. The Cowboys are going to pass a lot because that's their MO. Right now, I don't know if honestly, I don't know if Zeke is injured, but just doesn't have the explosiveness he had last year. I kind of think, just personally, just watching him the other night, he played really nice, and he actually has some really nice runs, but he doesn't have that explosion like he's had last year. I personally think something's wrong with him. I think he's not high in injury, but I think has a nagging injury that he's not allowed to explode like he can. Reminds me a lot of Alvin Kamara last year, so that's just my opinion on it. That and plus the line and Dak Prescott, it's kind of a tough season. But yeah, Darren Schultz, look for him to really nice game this week against the Bengals. And I'm going to go out there, I'm going to say it. I think Darren Schultz is going to get a touchdown this week, so look for that to happen. So he's a receiver that the Danny Dalton likes a lot. He's got a good connection with him, and I think he's going to keep it up this week. So anyways, those are the guys that play for the week one of the playoffs. Those are the guys who are going to get you lots of points, lots of studs. All up in that list. Those guys are going to be on all your rosters, so make sure you play them with confidence. If you have any kind of if you're wavering back and forth between putting those guys in and not put them in, so you will have the two fools gold guarantee that they will win you this week.
Much like my guarantee that I believe I said the Washington football team was going to beat the Steelers.
You did. You got that right on. It's almost like when we got Justin Jefferson's. Oh, we called all three of his big weeks here too.
I believe so.
Yeah. What's awesome is that we called his big week when he was not very good. We called his big week 3 weeks later, and we called his big week again 2 weeks ago. Interesting. What do you think, man? Good?
But I think we're good. So anyway,
one thing I will say is Marty is a lot better at guessing or predicting or spoiling the outcomes than I am. So if you want spoilers, just ask this guy over here. That's Mr. Bo Marty Jackson. Yeah, and you also called the score on one of the games we did earlier this year too. You were like really close. You're off by like 3 points. I forgot what that game was. And it was like Marty's like, "Hey, I was only off by 3 points." I'm like, "No, you were crap." Go figure.
It's what I do. It's what I do.
Right. That's right. I do the facts and stats. He does all the educated spoilers. So
right.
Not a pretty good combo to have, I'd say. Pretty good combo.
Oh man.
Oh, I can't sit like that anymore. I'm too old.
Anyway, everybody, thank y'all for joining us for this episode, and we will see you on the next one.
Yes, two fools in fantasy football. I believe we are on episode number 17, so we're slowly climbing up everything, so we're getting there. So 17 videos in, so hopefully you're all as learning much as we're learning from you. And hey, I got to do a shout out to John, man. John was texting me today some stuff, and he said he learned a lot from us, and that we really helped him. And I think he made the playoffs in both of his leagues. So he was down, and he went on a 7-game winning streak on one of them, and he just got into 5th place on the this week with the win. So he's in the playoffs. So he's pretty pumped up, man. So John, congratulations, dude.
Nice.
So, but anyways, good luck to you this week, guys and girls out there, for watching the video. So we are Two Fools, and I am Tyler, the Uncool Fool Greer. Please like, subscribe, share, add, and this guy.
Everybody, I'm Marty McFly. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the little bell there to get notified of all of our videos we post up here. And we don't see you again. Everybody have a safe and happy holidays with their friends and families.
That's right. Drink your eggnog, have some cookies, put on those freshman 15, as they call it, or as I call it, the holiday 20. So.
All right. Take care, everybody.
All right, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and we will have a booms and busts video out later this week.